What up, everybody? It's Frank Mula back at it again with another video today. You're watching Level Up, Double Down, where we don't play around unless it's video games. Now, as a reminder, we're currently on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and with that being said, this endeavor requires your utmost support. However, I do want to make a special announcement by letting you guys know that since the last video, this channel has officially crossed the 200 subscribers mark, another milestone reached for the history books. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys who either subscribed to the channel, liked one of my videos, made a comment, or shared a video of mine, because all that activity leads to the growth of this channel. So if you like this type of content I make and you want to see more, like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask, and I hope I can earn your support today. And if you're already subscribed, then I want to express my deepest appreciation for your gesture. So with that out the way, let's go ahead and get things started. Now, I know this video was long overdue, and I kept some people waiting with bated breath while I was in the process of putting this video together. So, on today's episode, I wanted to cover a topic which has been one of my strong suits and core to my technical knowledge for quite some time. So this is not anything out of the ordinary or coming out of left field. So you might be asking yourself, what is root? The simple answer to that is it's akin to what jailbreaking an iPhone is, but through Android instead. Basically, once you successfully perform this process, it gives you root access to the underlying layers of a phone's boot partition, leaving the system partition untouched in order to gain more control over your phone's functionality, while being able to apply certain adjustment tweaks through the phone's operating system, which are natively inaccessible without root. To take things a step further, root offers custom mods capable of bypassing certain Android restrictions. Root grants you the ability to run applications that are inherently unauthorized by Android, and it also allows you to perform actions that require root access, such as recording phone calls if your device disables it by default, for example. Essentially, rooting a device is a gateway into tapping into your phone's true potential, which most people aren't aware of. However, over time, Google has been taking much more aggressive steps towards locking down its ecosystem, causing users to be shackled to the caveats posed by Android, which has never been precedent, especially for an OS which used to champion itself on being a much freer platform compared to iOS. So now there's an asterisk left to that claim. Oh my, how the turns have tabled. Now, if you do find yourself interested in wanting to try out this procedure by following this tutorial, I do want to give a disclaimer by letting you know to take heed to the warning that this process does have its faults. Not being too careful or mindful of each step you take as you proceed further into the process can lead to irreversible consequences, such as data loss or, at worst, breaking your device. So I would highly suggest making a backup copy of your device before moving forward. And for those of you who are inexperienced and lack the technical know-how to navigate the inner workings of Android and are unfamiliar with identifying the systems in place, my suggestion to you would be to stop short at any attempts you might be thinking about making and quit while you're ahead, because no, I will not be relegated as your designated geek squad if you catch yourself in a sticky situation, and I don't troubleshoot for free, so there's that. So, if you would rather read instructions regarding how to flash and root Android instead, I've already posted a step-by-step guide on the XDA forum, which I'll be posting a link to in the video description below. Just to reel things back in, the purpose of this tutorial is to achieve two main objectives. Number one, to flash an ASOP-based firmware other than the default operating system onto this device. And number two, to successfully root Android. I will only be speaking on topics or addressing matters that are related to the specific phone within the scope of this tutorial. And in the interest of full disclosure, the phone I'll be using today is the Motorola Edge Plus 2023 model, which I purchased on sale last year from a certain service provider at a price I couldn't refuse. Keep in mind that each phone has its own respective rooting process, so please refer to the necessary resources designated to the preferred device you intend to root. Now, this guide is contingent upon the device being brand new out of the box and assuming it retains the phone's default settings. So with all that being said, let's get this tutorial started. First off, Make sure US debugging is enabled on your device. Go to Settings, then About Phone, and then tap on build number, which in my case was U1TR34.8-30-8, 7 times until it says Developer Options is enabled. Now back out of About Phone, go to System, then Developer Options. Scroll down until you see OEM unlocking, then turn it on, and then tap Enable to confirm. Then scroll down further to USB debugging and enable it on your device, followed by pressing OK to confirm. Access the Motorola web portal by logging into your account in order to be provided with instructions regarding how to unlock your bootloader. Firstly, you'll need to download and install the latest Android SDK and Motorola mobile drivers version 6.4.0 for your PC. Instead of downloading the full Android SDK kit, just download the following SDK platform tools from Google for ADB compatibility, which offers the minimal amount of files necessary to unlock the bootloader of your device. Next, create a folder called ADB at the root of your C drive and extract the following files: adb.exe, adbwinapi.dll, adbwinusbapi.dll, and lastly, fastboot.exe into the folder. Now ensure that the latest Motorola USB drivers are installed on your PC, then connect the device to the computer via a USB cable and confirm that your phone shows up recognized as Motorola ADB interface under the Android device section and device manager. Please note, if you do happen to come across any pop-up box prompting you to allow USB debugging, then go ahead and accept. Now it's time to get the device ID for unlocking the bootloader. First, put the device in fast boot mode by fully turning off the device, then pressing both the power plus the volume down buttons simultaneously for up to 5 seconds and then release. You'll know when you're in the right place if you see an Android bot on its back with its chest wide open. Now, launch Command Prompt as an administrator on your PC and run the following command line: cd space C:/ADB. Now, to confirm your device is connected to your PC, enter command line fastboot space devices. Next, type the following command line: fastboot space OEM space get_unlock_data. This will produce a string of characters similar to what's on screen. Now, copy that whole string from command prompt and paste it into your favorite text editor, such as Notepad, which I'll be using, and delete the bootloader header alongside the blank space that follows it, so everything appears to run into each other, and as a result, the string should appear similar to what you see on screen. Now, copy the whole screen you just revised and go to the Motorola web portal, assuming you're still signed in, and scroll down till you find step number 6. Now, paste the whole string you just copied from the text editor into the blank box provided and press the button, "Can my device be unlocked?" If a request unlock key button appears at the bottom of this page, just accept the agreement on that page, followed by clicking request unlock key. And when prompted, unless you have a developer edition device, this will void your warranty. Are you sure? Just tap OK to bypass this message. And if all went well, you should have immediately received an email for the account registered with Motorola titled Unlocking Your Device, containing your bootloader unlock code with further instructions. Now copy that unlock code, then enter the following command line into command prompt and press enter: fastboot space OEM space unlock space your unlock code. Now you'll see the following disclaimer on your device. Use the volume buttons to highlight your choice and make your selection with the power button. By selecting Unlock the bootloader, you acknowledge that your phone will be reset to factory settings and that your bootloader will be unlocked. Once you unlock the bootloader, you will be presented with the message in command prompt stating that bootloader is unlocked. Although the bootloader unlock process has been completed, your device will still remain in fast boot mode, so you'll have to manually reboot it by pressing the power button followed by going through the initial phone setup process since it's been factory reset. Keep in mind that each time you restart your device, you'll be presented with the warning that your device could potentially be at risk to attackers due to the bootloader of the device being unlocked. At this point, I would advise against setting up any screen unlock, that being a fingerprint, a PIN, a pattern, or a password, or even signing in with any Google accounts before flashing the LineageOS ROM since it's too soon. Re-enable USB debugging on your device by going to Settings, About Phone, then tap on Build Number until it says Developer Options is enabled, followed by going to System, Developer Options, then scrolling down to USB debugging to enable it and pressing OK to confirm. Now, download the official LineageOS ROM for the Motorola Edge Plus 2023, codenamed R2, alongside all the companion files. That includes boot.img, dtbo.img, init_boot.img, vendor_boot.img, and recovery.img. Store these files in the ADB folder. Please note, for LineageOS 22 to work, it requires that the stock Motorola OS version of your device be updated to Android 15, and based on that logic, if you're flashing LineageOS 23, you need to be updated to Android 16. The current version of Android on your device can be verified by going to Settings, About Phone, then Android version. Once you update to Android 15, you have to go to Settings, About Phone, Device Details, Android version to confirm this. Once your device has been updated all the way to Android 15, shut it down and boot it into fast boot mode by fully turning it off and then pressing both the power plus the volume down buttons simultaneously for up to 5 seconds and then release. With command prompts still open, run the following command line to ensure the directory has already been changed to the ADB folder at the root of the C drive. CD space C:/ADB. Now confirm that your device is connected to the PC by entering in this command line, fastboot space devices. Now it's time to flash those LineageOS companion files you had downloaded earlier. Type the following command lines: fastboot space flash space boot space boot.img. Next, fastboot space flash space dtbo space dtbo.img. Next, fastboot space flash space init_boot space init_boot.img. Next, fastboot space flash space vendor_boot space vendor_boot.img. Now it's time to install Lineage Recovery, which was also part of the companion files you were instructed to download as mentioned earlier. Type the following command line: fastboot space flash space recovery space recovery.img. Now, to confirm that flash and recovery went successful while in fastboot, navigate using the volume buttons and select recovery mode using the power button to boot into recovery. If all went well during reboot, your device would have alternated between the bootloader unlock warning screen and the vibrant Motorola splash screen with an inscription in yellow letters at the top left saying boot mode is recovery, followed by being redirected to the recovery screen depicting the LineageOS logo. Just to give you a little bit of background, the device has dedicated Recovery A and Recovery B partitions. However, the inactive slot could be empty or potentially contain outdated firmware compared to the active slot, therefore leading to potential future issues. So, to prevent that from happening, you want to bring parity between the two partitions by copying over the contents from the active slot into the inactive slot. With that being said, this is where we download the file called copy-partitions-2022-06 13-sign.zip and store it in the ADB folder. Using the touchscreen on the device, tap Apply Update followed by Apply from ADB. With command prompt still open, which should still be pointed at the ADB directory, run the following command line to sideload the copy-partitions file from earlier. ADB space -D space sideload space copy-partitions 2022 06 13 signed.zip. If all went well, on your device, you'll be presented with the message, install completed with status 0, while displaying total transfer : space 1.00x in command prompt. Using the touchscreen on the device, tap Advanced followed by Reboot to Recovery. All right, guys, I have a confession to make, so I need to come clean. While I was going through the steps on my own, right before I was attempting to flash the firmware, I started to realize something wasn't right based on the readouts I was getting while entering in the command line, since I was being presented with a status level 1 rather than a status level 0 within recovery. More than likely, it was probably due to there being a mismatch between the release of the firmware version I was using and the companion files that go along with it, and herein lies the problem. Unfortunately, I had unintentionally bricked the device, so I was forced to rely on Motorola's software fix tool, which was formerly known as RSA, Rescue and Smart Assistant. Technically, it belongs to Lenovo, since they're the parent company of Motorola, but that's neither here nor there. Basically, this tool was able to download the current firmware version that matched my device for Android 15, and it was able to flash it back to stock and restore the factory settings. So if you do end up bricking your device like I did embarrassingly, then that indeed is your next best option in order to recover your phone. So, as long as you have OEM unlocking enabled with your phone's bootloader unlocked, then that'll be the least of your worries. So, now back to the tutorial. After returning back to recovery, it's now time to install LineageOS. If you haven't done so, download the official LineageOS ROM and store it in the ADB folder. Reformat the device by tapping Factory Reset, then Format Data/Factory Reset, which also disables encryption while erasing all of its data. So if you haven't already made a backup of your internal storage, this is your last chance to do so. Back out to the main menu and tap Apply Update followed by Apply from ADB. With command prompt still open, run the following command line to sideload the LineageOS zip file. ADB space -D space sideload space C:/ADB/ and then the name of the LineageOS ROM zip file you downloaded earlier. If all went well, you'll be presented with a prompt on the device informing you to reboot to recovery if you intend to install add-ons such as G-apps, that being Play Services, Core Apps, and the Play Store. Select yes if you are, but no if you're not. Please note, although the installation went successful, it may stall at 47% in command prompt during your experience, so disregard that since it's an inherent flaw. Using the touchscreen on the device, tap yes, prompting the device to reboot to recovery. Download the latest version of G-apps for Android 15 or the G-apps file respective to the version of Android you're using and store it in the ADB folder. Once back in recovery, tap Apply Update followed by Apply from ADB. With command prompt still open, run the following command line to sideload G-apps. ADB space -D space sideload space C:/ADB/ and then the name of the G-apps file you downloaded earlier. When prompted with the following message, signature verification failed, install anyway, tap yes since add-ons aren't signed. If all went well on the device, you'll be presented with the message, install completed with status 0, while displaying total transfer: 1.00x in command prompt. It is now safe to reboot the device into LineageOS. Using the touchscreen on the device, tap Reboot System Now, which will take you through the phone's boot sequence shortly, followed by the initial phone setup process on screen. At this point, you're safe to set up a screen lock and add a Google account to the device, and you can begin recovering your account data. Go to Settings, About Phone, and tap on build number until it says developer options is enabled. Be sure to confirm by entering in your screen unlock. Back out to Settings, then System, then Developer Options, and enable USB debugging. Now scroll down to Default USB Configuration and change it from No Data Transfer to File Transfer. From here, we need to download the latest stable release of Magisk, then copy that file onto your phone's internal storage. For example, I use the download folder and install Magisk onto the device using the OS's File Explorer. Due to this device having a boot RAM disk, we will be using the following custom recovery method to enable root based on its overall reliability. First, make a copy of Magisk and change its extension from .apk to .zip and store it in the ADB folder on your PC. While the device is powered on and connected to your PC, run the following command to boot it into fast boot mode. ADB space reboot space bootloader. Next, while in fast boot, use the volume buttons to navigate to recovery mode and select it using the power button to boot into recovery. Using the touchscreen on the device, tap Apply Update followed by Apply from ADB. From here, you're now able to sideload and flash the Magisk zip file to ARM root. Type the following command lines: cd space c:/ADB. ADB space version. However, this is optional just to confirm what ADB version is running. Next, ADB space devices. Now, this is meant to show a list of ADB compatible devices connected to your PC. All right, next, ADB space -d space sideload space c:/ADB/ and the name of the version of Magisk you downloaded earlier. After successfully flashing Magisk, tap Reboot System Now, which will restart the device. After the OS has fully rebooted, you may encounter prompts requesting that you grant root access to apps currently installed on the device, implying that your device is rooted. Now, launch Magisk from the app drawer and you'll be presented with a prompt stating that Magisk requires additional setup. In order for Magisk to work properly, an additional reinstall is necessary by reflashing it through the app, which is not possible in recovery. Go to Install under Magisk, then Direct Install recommended, then let's go. Reboot once the process has complete and voila. And to check your work, you can use an app such as Root Checker or Root and BusyBox Checker from the Play Store to confirm root status. As a reminder, prior experience dealing with the Android operating system or familiarity with its nuances is definitely necessary going into this activity. And if you do break something, don't holler at me to help fix that shit. So there's your warning, and I hope you learned something today. So, as I wrap up this video, feel free to let me know in the comments, what were your thoughts about the presentation I gave? If you're interested in this type of content as it relates to unlocking bootloaders, flashing firmwares, and rooting smartphones, hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell icon to turn on all your notifications so you don't miss a thing. And also, if you made it this far into the video, I want to sincerely thank you for watching. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Frank Mula signing out. Holla at me.